Wayfaring Panda. I'm Annette. Today I'm participating in a YouTube hop with the It's All About the Mouse group on Facebook. And the theme we're supposed to do is Animal Kingdom. I'm also participating in the Scrapathon for the Disney Scrappers, which is a group that gets together and we have different challenges for one another. So in the month of June, they put out a sketch for every day and also some alternates, and you can pick which one you want to do every day. And it doesn't have to be on YouTube or Instagram. We just post it to our Disney Scrapper site, but we can also play along and put them on Instagram if you want to follow us along there. So anyway, for today's, I picked this one, which is our sketch 5, and the optional challenge, we could either do the scrapbook layout or we could do the optional challenge or combine them, which is use paper with leaves or animal print. So since we're supposed to do the Disney's Animal Kingdom, I thought this would be best. Now, I don't have any Animal Kingdom pictures left since I haven't been there in a long time. So I'm going to scrapbook the Jungle Boat Ride. And I had already done one page of it, so I'm adding another layer of challenge. So here's the one I already did. So I wanted to bring some of this paper in so that I could put the other page next to it and it'll kind of go along. On the sketch, it looked like they had maybe 3 layers of paper. I'm starting with this one, which is from Photoplay, and it's from the collection called We Bought a Zoo by Becky Fleck. It kind of looks like a gray tonal paper that's probably like an elephant hide look. I'm not sure. And then I'm using this other paper that's from an old paper pack, Disney paper pack from Joann's. And I believe this particular one was inspired by The Lion King. But I'm using it because I used it on my first layout, so that way I can do a double page layout and they'll tie together. And I'm just using some double-sided tape. The one I'm using is from Scrapbook.com. I had purchased this recently. It does adhere really well, but you can kind of move it a little bit, which you'll see, because I do have trouble adhering it straight. There's actually someone I watch here on YouTube that her tagline is, if it's not crooked, I didn't make it, or something like that. That should be my tagline also. So you'll see I pull it back up, but then I can't pull it back up a second time because by then it's sticking quite a bit. I already cut and prepped all my elements for this layout so you wouldn't have to watch me trying to trim everything. But on the sketch you can see it has one vertical photo and one space that could be journaling or a photo. I'm just using 2 horizontal pictures because that's what I have. And on the second photo you'll notice that there's a picture of the Magic Kingdom Castle in the background. And that's because these pictures were taken from an old style camera with film in it because they're from the late 1980s. And a lot of you may not be familiar with that, but you had a roll of film in, and sometimes towards the end of the roll, you might take a picture and then take another one and it would combine the two. So a lot of times you would throw those away, but I kept this one because I thought it looked kind of cool. In fact, it kind of reminds me of the postcards they would sell at Disney that would have like a collage intentionally of different things from one park. Well, in the 80s, there was only the Magic Kingdom. Then I'm adhering my photos with some tape that's called photo splits or photo squares or mounting squares. Depends what brand you buy is what they call them. Actually, take that back. Epcot was open because this is when I went with my grandma in the 80s, and we went to Epcot and the Magic Kingdom. And actually, I'd been there once before the first time we went with my family when I was in college, which was also in the 1980s. Anyway, I cut out Mowgli from the same paper pack, and it was from that same paper I used in the previous layout. I thought that would kind of give it a more vertical look. And also, I thought Mowgli went along good with the Jungle Cruise because you go through all 5 of the great rivers of the world, so India would have been part of that. Now, the paper I cut out with the foliage was from the Photoplay and also the cutout that says it's a jungle out there and the zebra print. I thought that a jungle out there would go really good with this layout since it's the Jungle Cruise, and it has a monkey, which I think there were some monkeys in the Jungle Cruise. I don't remember. Oh, actually, I think it was some chimpanzees. It's been a while. And I'm trying to get it arranged and straightened out. You know how I am with getting things crooked. And also, I have a lot of trouble with my paper trimmer. It doesn't seem to cut straight. Then I just use my Nuvo Deluxe glue to adhere all my paper down. And of course, those photo splits, photo squares to adhere the photos. So with this layout, you're just going to see me using paper and scrapbook paper and stickers. So that's how I originally started scrapbooking with Creative Memories, is pretty much just using stickers. I think we might have used some die cuts, but die cutting wasn't a big thing back then. So you don't have to have a lot of fancy things to do scrapbooking if you don't want. Also, you'll see that I have changed the sketch up a bit to match the photos that I did have. So you can take a sketch just to get you started and then go from there. I like using a lot of photos, so actually this was very few for me because I usually use 3 to 5 photos per page, especially on my vacations, because otherwise my photo albums would be gigantic. I'll have a list of all the people participating in the All About the Mouse Hop in the description below. That way you can get some more inspiration on scrapbooking, and the theme is Disney's Animal Kingdom, so you might get more ideas on scrapbooking that park, maybe like mine where I try to keep with the Animal Kingdom theme even though it's not the Animal Kingdom. So all of my Animal Kingdom pictures are scrapbooked. I actually worked there for the first year that it was open, and then in 1999 I moved back to my home in St. Louis to be with my family. So I have not been back there. So all of those photos are already in a scrapbook. I had to go back to the 1980s to do Disney World. Otherwise, I do have some Disneyland pictures and a Disney cruise that I will need to be getting into scrapbooks. I also put a link of the Disney group, the Disney Scrappers, if you're interested in joining that. That's a individual site, and it's not a blog, it's like a forum. So you can check that out, and we do have sketch challenges there. For my embellishments, I'm just using the sticker sheet that came with the We Bought a Zeus collection pack. And I'm using this banner because it does look like there's a banner in the sketch. And also, if you notice, there's a little bit of gap there between the photos where it does look crooked. So that kind of covers that up. And then instead of the Mickey head, I used a hippo. I think there were hippos on the Jungle Cruise, but I don't really remember. So I just kind of looked through the stickers. I do add some footprints over to the side where on the sketch it looked like there was maybe some bubbles. So that's what I thought kind of would go with that. And then I just build up some clusters with some leaves. I'll put a list of all the products that I'm using in the description below. Some of these may be affiliate links. They don't cost you anything extra to use, but I do get a small commission from any sales that the links generate, and that does help support my channel. Now, most of these products probably will not be available anymore because they are old, but it just tells you just use what you have. You probably have something that works. So these were not really Disney-related items except for the paper. And also, I find some of these products I buy after they've been discontinued, and then you can usually get them on sale or on clearance. And of course, if you're on a budget, that's the way to go. So while you're watching me fuss with these stickers, I want to share a story with you about the Jungle Cruise. Or actually, it's the lack of seeing the Jungle Cruise. So when I was in first grade, my mom and dad were going to take us to Disney World for our first trip. And actually, it was the year it was opening at the Magic Kingdom in Florida. But my sister had to have a surgery on her leg, and so she was going to be in a cast all summer, so we went the year after I was in second grade. And we didn't know a lot about it back then. I mean, we didn't have the internet or anything like that. So I had a coloring book, which I think was Disneyland, and it had pictures of the different rides and you color them. Well, I remembered seeing that in the Jungle Cruise in that book, and also on The Wonderful World of Color, which is in black and white on my TV because we didn't have color TV. Anyway, remembered seeing Disneyland on that. And so I knew a little bit about the Jungle Cruise ride, so I was so excited to go see it. Well, my parents took us to the Magic Kingdom one day. We were staying over in Clearwater, but we drove there and stayed the entire day. We got there when it opened, and we stayed until it closed. We never did go to the Jungle Cruise ride. I kept saying, I want to go to the Jungle Cruise ride. We never did make it. I was not really extremely disappointed because everything we did, I loved. And I don't know if it's because the rest of the family wasn't interested in the Jungle Cruise ride or because we were so interested in other things. Because, of course, I loved all the Fantasyland type rides because I was just out of second grade. So I really enjoyed that. But by the end of the day, we're like, we never did make it to the Jungle Cruise. Now, the next time I went, I made a point to go on it. Of course, it was a little hokey by then because I was a lot older. So, of course, that's part of the joke about the Jungle Cruise ride is the jokes and how corny it is. I want to thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. If you're not already a subscriber, I'd really appreciate if you can subscribe to my channel. Thank you and have a wonderful day.